he represents a type of player that is, I don't want to completely say a dying breed, but like the obnoxious, physical, can score a bunch of goals, is going to get in your head type of thing. Like, I get it, man. We're famously a big video game podcast. Johnny, do you play anything? Do you game?
I used to. Used to be, obviously NHL, NBA 2K. Those are my games, but I haven't had Xbox in like 3 years, so I haven't really been playing much.
I'm not a video game head. We're watching. I did not watch this season of The Last of Us, but my girlfriend has decided to. She doesn't like scary stuff, but she was like, "Could I do The Last of Us?" I was like, "Yeah, you can watch that. It's not very scary.
More of like emotionally wrecking than it is.
Exactly right. Like you just see like a child die every episode. That's all. So we do that, but I haven't played any video games in a million years. But we have a cover athlete for NHL 26, and his name is Matthew Tkachuk. EA Sports announcing that he will be the two-time Stanley Cup champion, the cover athlete for NHL 26. And
we have an update on this.
Oh,
yeah.
He will be the cover athlete on the standard version of the video game. Do you remember what I said to you about the cover immediately before the show started?
This show?
Yes. Who should have also been on the cover?
Brady Tkachuk.
Brady Tkachuk. You know who I didn't mention is their father, Keith Tkachuk. All three of them are on the deluxe edition.
What?
And I think that's kind of cool.
That is very cool.
I think it's funny that they have Keith in like playing shape and uniform and everything. They didn't just do like this is the dad.
That's the thing, because Keith Tkachuk gets a lot of airtime these days.
Yeah.
We know what he looks like currently. All right. I like that. I like the Tkachuks across the board. How do you feel about it, Johnny?
I do too. I know, I guess I understand why there are people who are angry about it. But whether you like it or not, like him or not, hate him or love him, Matthew Tkachuk has become one of the most talked about players in the NHL over the past 3 years. And I have a hard time arguing against that. When it first came out, I said, like, is there a more influential, whether it's a good or bad way, player in the NHL in the last 3 years, someone who's done more media, someone who's brought more attention to hockey than Matthew Tkachuk? Like, I can't name one. I really can't.
Yeah, I think that he is at the very least a face of hockey. And I think that any conversation around him now incorporates, well, a lot of it incorporates like that he's a Trump guy or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I'll remind people, and in the interest of full disclosure, I am not a Trump guy. I'll remind people that, like, whether it's boxers over the years, whether it's Ray Lewis, like a lot of star athletes have had stuff about them that we have not liked, such as, did they possibly murder somebody? You know, like it has never been if you are a star athlete, it means that you are someone who should be universally loved, or somebody who has any sort of like moral thing or whatever. Like that just is not the way it is. And I'm sure we all wish it were, but it is not. So you can kind of dismiss that out of hand right off the bat. You mentioned like doing media. As the other thing I was going to mention was that people bring up like he's not that good, or he's not like a top X player in the league.
Get out of here.
He is not a top 5 player in the league. Of course, nobody in the world thinks he's a top 5 player in the league, but he is one of the best players in the league. He's in, let's say, I want to say he's like a top 20-ish player, something like that. And if not that, even if he's a top 40 player in the league, that makes him a star player in the league. There's only so many teams in the league, and there are only so many faces of each team. And yeah, the face of the Florida Panthers is that they're just freaking loaded, but he represents a type of player that is, I don't want to completely say a dying breed, but like the obnoxious, physical, can score a bunch of goals, is going to get in your head type of thing. Like, I get it, man. Like you're talking to someone whose probably favorite player in the league generally has been Brad Marchand for a while. You know, my favorite player in the league is Leon Draisaitl, but you know what I'm talking about. Like I can't see Matthew Tkachuk on the cover of a video game and say that guy shouldn't be on there. Like if you're trying to sell video games, you get the loud, proud, obnoxious guy.
remove politics from this. Like, is there any outrage about Matthew Tkachuk?
I mean, I think people at a certain point are tired of the Florida Panthers. I think there's a lot of people that are just like over that experience already, which I think is ridiculous and crybaby shit. But
I think you gotta keep them up. Like, someone's got to knock them down if you want.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, like, and there might be Canadians that don't like it, especially after. But that's part of what I want to bring up is that, like, first off, guys have been put on this cover for far less. Respectfully, looking at you, Trevor Zegras, and like I said, I was talking to DJ before the show. I don't think that hockey has been as relevant on a national or global scale, at least in the United States specifically, has not been as relevant since, like, as it was during Four Nations and the Tkachuks beat the shit out of a couple of Canadians, or tried to at least. Since like TJ Oshie? Like, when was the last time hockey was that relevant? Like, amongst people who didn't even really care about hockey, and that is
probably when Ovi won the cup. I would say too.
Yeah, fair. Okay, that's probably up there too. Like, but like that all starts with Matthew Tkachuk. How are you going to argue that he shouldn't be on the cover? And the fact that people care so much is the reason why people hate him, and that's why he should be on the cover, because he's polarizing. It gets people talking about it.
Somebody in the chat said that I compared being a Trump supporter to being a murderer. No, I did not. I am saying that I did not do that. I said that star athletes have been things good and bad. So the idea that a star athlete must check every box, like, star athletes have not checked boxes in such insane ways, such as potentially murdering somebody, is what I'm saying. So I did not say.
I think most normal people got that.
I think okay, most people got that.
Let me actually tie this in, if I may, to a little quote from Harvey Dent. And I think this is actually very relatable, which I actually just thought of off the top of my head. But 23, I don't think anyone hated Matthew Tkachuk. I think when the Panthers went on that first, unless you're a Bruins fan, when the Panthers went on that first run, everyone was in love with the Cinderella story that they were. Matthew Tkachuk doing NBA on TNT, wearing elbow room t-shirts. He was bringing energy to South Florida. He was making the Panthers a well-known brand on that run. But where Harvey Dent comes in, you either die a hero, which the Panthers could have died after losing that cup final, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Isn't that the quote? That's the quote, right?
Yeah.
Like that? Yeah. So he lives long enough. They win 2 cups. And now all of a sudden, Matthew Tkachuk went from this hero on a Cinderella run to a villain that everyone in the NHL wants to take down. And guess what? I can't remember the last time the NHL had a villain this good at hockey. Like, the Florida Panthers, they were a great story. Guess what? Now everyone better fucking bring their best, because someone's got to take this team down. And I think that's where we're at in the NHL, and that's what's going to be so fun this year. Who can actually beat this Florida Panther team? Because right now, on paper, I don't see anyone that can do it. I think they're 1 year away from a three-peat. But Matthew Tkachuk is going to become, from a guy who was very loved by everybody, and he's loved in South Florida, always will be, to hated by anyone who isn't a Florida Panther fan. I think that's where we're going to head. And again, like, as a person who works closely in hockey, love Matthew Tkachuk. I think his personality is amazing, that he is willing to do all these things. He's willing to go on the Kelsey Brother podcast, the Pat McAfee show, all these different outlets, and promote the game that, you know, McKinnon won't do, McDavid won't do, all the best players in the league won't necessarily do. So it's great in that sense. As a New York Ranger fan, I hate Matthew Tkachuk. Are you kidding me? I fucking hate him as a Ranger fan, but I respect everything he's done for the game and for what he's brought to South Florida, because in 2022, that team won the President's Trophy and no one gave a shit about them.
Right.
That's my rant.
No, and they're like candidates for it, of course. And if you want to say Kirill Kaprizov would have been a good cover, great. If you want to say the Gaudreau brothers would have been really cool, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's disrespectful that they put somebody other than the Gaudreau brothers on there, but I think that would have been really neat if they did it.
It's also something a little odd about putting the Gaudreau brothers on the cover, like trying to sell a game with their image. Like, that would have been a little odd.
And we don't know, maybe the family wouldn't have been into that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that could have gone poorly. The one that I saw that I think would have been cool was Ovi. Like that one would make a whole lot of
But
sense.
he's already had two. He's already had two.
I get that, and I think you maybe wait till he retires, and then you do like what 2K does, and they put like a Hall of Famer on like a deluxe version of the cover. You can do that as like a kind of a nod to his career. But yeah, I mean, especially with like the deluxe version being all the Tkachuks, like this is very clearly like the first family of hockey at this point.
Yes,
there's nothing you're gonna do about that, and kind of like what you're talking about, like. It'd be one thing if these people had changed as they got more relevant, they started winning more. But like, as far as I can tell, the Tkachuks have been the Tkachuks this whole time, and then and more people just started paying attention. So
yeah,
like get upset if you want, but it is what it is. Like they clearly deserve this kind of acknowledgement. Because like even taking Matthew out of it, you go to like the other Tkachuks, like Keith is one of the most underrated players of all time. Brady got the lowly Ottawa Senators finally back to the playoffs. And like he was the other part of that amazing moment at Four Nations. Like I don't really know how you could sit here with a straight face and argue based off hockey reasons that they don't deserve it.
Okay, so we are all in agreement that he is a very logical cover athlete for NHL 26. I certainly think that he is. A couple of fun wrinkles, though. Not fun wrinkles, but
good
one
point
element.
from Samantha, by the way.
What's that?
In the chat. Samantha in the chat. Good point, too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like people hate like the fact that people are talking about it. She said that y'all having this conversation is exactly why they put him on the cover. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, respectfully, this is not a conversation if Kaprizov's on the cover, even if Draisaitl's on the cover. And I don't think, and we certainly saw it with Trevor Zegras being on there, it's not here is who is the best player in the league right now. Because then that would be boring, and it would be one of three people every year, and realistically, every time it wasn't Connor McDavid, we'd be like, well, that's kind of stupid. It should be McDavid again.
Again, Trevor Zegras is on the cover.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, as has been established, it's not an MVP award. We're making a freaking video game. What's exciting right now? Matthew Tkachuk, always exciting.
We all silly like the mayor.